So my number two is Licorice Pizza, which has gotten into a lot of hot water, and obviously, who am I to say to anybody like feel this way about a movie? So everyone's feelings are totally justified, because they're honest to how they feel. But to me, we've talked a lot about PTA, which is again a surprise to me because I don't consider myself as a PTA
Yeah,
head
you
or
keep
frankly
bringing
a
them
head
up
of.
all the time, though. I
I
think
know.
you are secretly. I think you are.
Maybe I just have an issue with the definition of the word head of somebody.
Yeah, like a big fan. Yeah.
Yeah, because that sort of signals that you'll blindly like anything that they make, and you'll go
Mm.
on rants about them on various forums. That
I
is just
see. I see.
not
Okay.
who I will ever be.
Right. Right.
But I do look at every picture on its own merit, and it just so happens that what he's made has resonated with me. Not everything, but a lot
Hmm.
of it. And I just think the register that he's working in now, which is lighter, uh, a lot more fun and funny, and kind of homage to his own childhood, but still bringing all of his finesses and brilliance of character work and the way movies are shot and the way relationships are explored, albeit complicated and weird. I just think, again, we've said so much in this episode, they don't make it like this, but this is, to me, that sort of classic, not super high budget, kind of that mid budget adult drama, which is really, really well crafted, the great mise en scène in every
Oh
single
yeah.
way. And yeah, just a director, working at the top of his game in a way, who's eased into who he is and eased into his weirdness, if you will, without trying to sort of, show and sort of yank everybody away in saying, oh, look how good I am, aka Magnolia. This is not
Hmm.
that. It's not an
Right.
angry, showy picture. It's a lot more subtle, but it doesn't mean it's ordinary and has nothing to say. It actually has a lot to say. And in fact, I'll just say this, that the way I made my list was one of the movies that I want to go and watch again and I can't wait. So this is pretty much in that order. So I've only seen it once and I can't
Mm.
wait to watch it again.
Yeah, I like this movie a lot. I respect PTA as an artist more than I love him as a filmmaker. But this, I think, was one of my favorite films that I've seen of his. Like the tone of it was just so
Yeah.
light. It was very funny. Definitely a good change of pace from The Master and Phantom Thread, which were very like serious dramas.
Mhm.
And this was very lighthearted. Fantastic performances from Elena Heim, and I think she was also robbed on a nomination, frankly,
I agree.
and just dealt with a lot of really like a great coming of age story, great sort of reflection on what love means. And yes, it was through these very young characters, but in the way that both of them were acting with each other, I thought the little vignettes of each of the relationships she was trying to go into to kind of get back at him showed all the different facets of what love is and how it can be reflected in all these different ways in terms of what you want out of your partner. And in the end, you sort of realize that it's kind of a amalgamation of all those different things. And that's why, maybe they end up together in the end. It's kind of left vague. I just also thought it was a movie that really was transportive back to what it must have felt like. Again, I maybe I shouldn't say because I don't know, but transported back to the San Fernando Valley in the 1970s and just
Yeah.
amazing. Just the look of this film. So this was also shot in 70 mil. I think in the previous episode where we talked about The Master, I said I don't understand why that was in 70 mil and I was disappointed. This one I saw in 70 mil in a theater and I was like, wow, like I get why he did this for that. It just gave it this epic sense of grandeur and scale and detail that was just so transportive. I mean, it was a fantastic film. I'm glad it got a little bit of recognition at the Academy. But yeah, one of my favorite films last year too, for sure. I really liked it.
Yeah. I'm so happy you loved it. Again, we talk a lot about the sort of the politics of sort of what wins and what, is considered up there. Like you talk about a movie like this by a director of this stature who's
Mhm.
been this sort of singular voice and is now settling into his sort of, older age and
Yeah.
everyone respects him, what have you. A few years ago, 10 years ago, this movie will be at the top of everybody's list in terms
Mhm.
of, what wins Best Picture. Alana Haim not only gets a nomination, but probably gets, I hate to say it, but the ingenue Best Actress award. He gets it, But again, we are in such a different time. Not saying what's good or bad, it's just different of, how, because of the controversies and such attached to this movie, it just sort of became a decided thing. You know what? We're not even going to deal with this. We're going to recognize PTA because we love him. So the only nominations for the entire movie are his. 3.
Right.
He's the director, writer. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's, so it's interesting how that's changed.
Yeah. No, totally. And I mean, I think eventually he'll get back in the good graces enough of the Academy, hopefully. But I totally agree with you. I think maybe only 10 years ago, this movie would have been like the front runner and the one to beat for the rest of the folks that were nominated. But just a great movie will live on because it's part of his filmography, and he's one of the true great filmmakers we have.
Yep.
Hey there, it's Alex. If you like the review and discussion Karan and I just had, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Movies That Shaped Us, to get full episodes. Every other Wednesday, Karan and I cover a topic around important people, places, events, and moments in our lives, and then explore it through 3 of our favorite movies. Subscribe right now or follow our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts via the link in the description below. Hope you join us for the journey.